Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Rutherford Falls Season 1. And this is a new show from Peacock, and this is from creators at Helms, which Andy Bernard from The Office, and Stu from Hangover, and obviously Ed Helms has been having a pretty successful comedy career over the past, I don't know, probably 15 years at this point, and along with Sierra Teller Ornelas and also Michael Schur. So I was super excited about this because Michael Schur has been part of The Office. He created Parks and Rec, The Good Place. He just has a lot of things going for him in terms of great television shows that he's been a part of, and they're some of my favorite television shows of all time, and also Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because you needed another one to throw on top of that. But he has had such a great career in terms of creating all of this. And the show focuses on Ed Helms, who plays Nathan Rutherford, who is a man who is the descendant of the founding family of Rutherford Falls. And he keeps trying to back this giant statue in the middle of a street called Big Larry, and he's supportive of the statue, and it really turns into a whole entire thing when he has a hissy fit during Founders Day and claims it's like, how dare they disrespect his ancestors, with the connotation that they're the ones who founded this land and created everything when, there's indigenous people there and they share a town. There's a reservation, there's a casino inside the town, and you have him coming into conflict with Michael Gruias's Terry, who runs the casino, who's a very ambitious character, who's also very sassy and very likable. And they come to blows, and a lawsuit happens, and there we have a show. And what adds layers to this is Nathan, his best friend, played by Jana Schmading, who plays Reagan, is of indigenous descent, and they've been friends for a long time. She runs a cultural center, which is this giant and this tiny little thing with barely anything in it inside the casino. And he runs in his home this history museum for his family. And you have everything. You have a journalist character who comes into town who actually falls for Reagan, played by Dustin Milligan, aka the vet from Schitt's Creek. And he's in here writing this article about the Rutherford family. And you have all of this stuff going on that takes us from what seems to be like a silly, offbeat kind of comedy that really dives deep into a lot of poignant social commentary on the treatment of indigenous people. And it's an interesting reflection, and that Nathan Rutherford goes through a lot of different kinds of things that, indigenous people went through. And it's kind of thrown back in his face. And Ed Helms is the perfect actor to do this because he is likable and funny, but also completely naive and idiotic in so many different ways, and he really sells it. And the show is able to capture that reflection so well, and I'm sitting there getting so much amusement out of how he's interacting here, reacting here, and realizing it's like, hey man, this is what happened to all the native people in this area, and now he's dealing with it. And Terry is just enjoying it so much, and he is such a great character. You see his family life, you see how driven he is, you see the attitude it took for him to be able to make something, and it really captures that dichotomy of individualism versus community. And he's very much about his group of people, even though maybe Terry's a bit of a hypocrite in terms of it's like, I think he's doing a lot of these things because he's enjoying it and he's trying to make the most out of it. And the relationship between Reagan and Nathan is a great relationship. It brings a lot of heart to the show and also some great conflict. And you also have a whole bunch of great supporting characters like Jesse Lee, who plays Bobby, who's Nathan's intern, who's just so sassy, gets so many great laughs in this show. I love Bobby. Bobby was one of the best characters in the show. You have Dana L. Wilson, who plays Deirdre Chisenhall, who is a family rival of the Rutherfords and also the mayor of the town. And, her and Nathan have some interesting interactions throughout the show, and you have a lot of great supporting characters, and even just the smaller ones who aren't big names, but you also have Paul F. Tompkins, who pops up as this drunken historian who's a college professor, who's just a great addition to the show. And the show has so many great laughs. I really enjoyed this. This is some classic Michael Schur, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more Rutherford Falls. And it takes the story into some interesting places and challenges its audiences with a lot of social commentary that's very poignant today, and also throws some twists at you in terms of relationships, and really challenges Nathan Rutherford as a character. And the show, by the end of this first season, went to places I did not expect it to, and I'm definitely still hooked and on board to see where Rutherford Falls Season 2 goes. So go check this one out on Peacock. Show Michael Schur some love, and Ed Helms, and all of the indigenous people that went into creating the show, who really get a voice in it, and I really appreciated that about the show. But those are my thoughts on Rutherford Falls. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.